It's Oriel Park, Friday evening, and the first of this year's Carlsberg FAI Cup semi-finals as Dundalk take on Shamrock Rovers. Hello, and you're very welcome to our live coverage of this FAI Cup semi-final. Two former winners battling it out to be in this year's final, which will take place next month. It promises to be a rousing affair. Shamrock Rovers are bidding and are continuing their quest for their 25th cup title. For Dundalk, they're still searching for number 9. 1988 was the last time Dundalk tasted FAI Cup success. Martin Murray was part of that victorious side. 14 years on, he's progressed from midfield motivator to management. A cup final appearance in April would salvage a season dogged by relegation worries in the league. With 24 cups under their belt, Rovers' cup pedigree is beyond reproach. It's been 15 years, though, since they completed their 3 in a row, beating Dundalk in the '87 final. Their challenge for Premier League honours this season has faltered. Cup success is their most realistic hope of silverware. In their 3 league meetings this season, Rovers have taken 7 points out of the 9 on offer. But can Dundalk redress the balance and secure their first cup victory over the Hoops since 1958? Well, the teams are already out here at Oriel Park. Pat Dolan is here with me. Pat, briefly, you have feelings about the venue for this. You feel it should be neutral?
Absolutely. If you've got respect for the competition, it's the most important cup competition in the land. It has to be a neutral venue. Look at the home advantage at this stage of the competition, and the final should be at Lansdowne Road.
Who's going to win?
Dundalk, if the crowd stay positive. Hard to believe that neither of these teams won this trophy during the 80s when you think of their traditions. The logical choice is Rovers after a replay, but got a little sneaky feeling for Dundalk.
OK, Pat, let's join our commentators. Owen Hand and first George Hamilton.
Thank you, Dara. Yes, we're here on Dundalk, the frontier town, and we got James Kenny, UCD, Shelbourne, now Dundalk. Scorer of 2 goals in their 5 cup ties on the way here, and a key man for them wide on the left. That's the Dundalk team, captained from left back by David Crawley. That's the way they line up. Owen Hand.
Well, Dundalk have been favouring a 4-4-2 all season, and of course it's that strike force of Gary Haylock and Martin Riley that have to be watched very much in this game. Dundalk, of course, the form team right now. Of course, Kieran Cavan, another vital element in their lineup.
Shamrock Rovers, the undoubted kings of the cup, and they had 2 who failed fitness tests. Sean Francis, their top scorer, and left-back Richie Byrne, which means Gareth Cronin is pressed into service in the number 3 shirt, and Tony Cousins, the evergreen Tony Cousins, will partner Tony Grant.
Yes, again, the favourite 4-4-2, and of course very important with Shane Robinson and Billy Woods, 2 very effective wide players. Of course, Tony Cousins starting this game, first time he starts actually in quite a while.
Tonight's referee is Dick O'Hanlon from Waterford. There is a breeze blowing in from the southwest across Oriel Park, which means it's coming from left to right and from slightly behind our vantage point, as it were, over our left-hand shoulder as Dick O'Hanlon blows the whistle, and the game is on. Dundalk in white and black against the Hoops of Shamrock Rovers. Played early for David Hoy to chase, but just too long. A little bit of wind assistance carrying that ball over the goal line for a goal kick to Shamrock Rovers goalkeeper Tony O'Dowd. Pitch is in perfect condition. We walked it before the kick-off, and it's firm, it's taking a stud. Absolutely right, and a fine night, despite that little breeze, for a football game. Greg Costello tidying things up. Long by O'Dowd, looking for Grant, who was pushed as he went for that by Donald Browan. Stalwart for many years with Bohemians, and this now where he's playing his football, Oriel Park. Costello then to take the free kick. And hung up on the breeze. Cronin sending it forward. Tracy. The early ball in. Not enough to deceive the Dundalk defence. Billy Woods and Cronin there. And the outcome is the throw-in. Turned by Tracy. And the Second attempt, John Connolly there to make the save.
That is a good confident start by Shamrock Rovers. It's exactly what they would have wanted and what they would have been talking about all leading up to this fixture.
Cronin to take the throw in. Very firmly by Rowan. Operates as a centre half for Dundalk. Most of his career at Bohemians played on the flank at fullback. Grant under pressure from Lawless. Billy Woods. Certainly a frantic pace about the opening moments of this.
Yes, having watched them there last Sunday against UCD, you know, Shamrock Rovers, that is, they were very disappointing, and it certainly would seem to be a confidence factor because they have got the players. I just felt that you know, they weren't utilising their wingers, they weren't getting them into play, and of course they have some two excellent players in Woods and Robinson, but early indications here bringing Woods into the game.
Straight down the middle from O'Dowd. Grant under pressure. Colwell has stolen the ball from Stephen McGuinness. Wide here for Woods. Cronin in support. Tracy back for Woods on that touchline. Woods too close to Connolly. It's Pat Scully underneath that. Cronin there to bring it under control. Forward towards Grant. Rowan did the needful. But now it's Colwell for Rovers. Derek Tracy swept on right for Shane Robinson. Robinson upended by the challenge of Crowley, but a fair one it was. Dundalk able to bring it free with a bit of good fortune too. It's Keddy. Began the move and continuing it. Keddy still there in support, taken over by Gary Haylock. All the way across to Crawley. The opportunity fell to Gary Haylock, but no power in the header to trouble Tony O'Dowd.
Well, he was just trying to get a loop header, if you like, up over O'Dowd, but just couldn't get enough on it. Gary Haylock certainly has been an effective goal scorer since he came here, what, all of 10 years ago.
Crawley now for Dundalk. It's cut out by Cronin. Right back into the area patrolled by David Crowley. Colwell taking over. Almost putting the pressure on Tony O'Dowd, always favoured to win that ahead of Martin Riley, but the pressure did mean that O'Dowd has put the ball out of play.
Jason Colwell's have a very effective start there. He's won some vital balls and he set up a few attacks there. He was bringing Shane Robinson in. I think that would be a very important part of the Shamrock's build-up, something that was sadly lacking last Sunday.
Costello. Dundalk able to cut it out and use it as a springboard for another attack, but the two strikers had moved in centrally. There was no one wide to take advantage. Throw to Shamrock Rovers. Not too effective for them. Throw this time to Dundalk. Keddy. Cut out by Cronin, returned by John White. Away by Scully. Played wide towards David Hoy, who's put under pressure by Billy Woods. throw in is Shamrock Rovers. Grant losing out, but Cousins assisting. Through Colwell, Costello, and on for Robinson. Cronin. Grant after this. Out of the middle, McGuinness. The outcome, goal kick to Dundalk.
Just a bit unlucky there. I mean, the build-up was fine. Shamrock Rovers, they worked it from the right across and eventually to Cronin. And then you had was Tony Grant making the run for the ball through from Gareth Cronin, just a little bit too heavy for him.
Martin Murray, Dundalk's manager, in the baseball cap. A winner in the cup, as you saw earlier on with Dundalk in '88, and now try to guide them into a final again. Damien Richardson, his opposite number with Shamrock Rovers. Kelly. It's Billy Woods. Challenged in the corner by John White. Goal kick.
Just a bit unlucky there, Billy Woods. He's a very positive run, and just the touch was a little bit heavy, as it is for a lot of players so far in this game. They're trying to just feel their way into it. There's so much at stake for both sides.
You could say the whole season hinges on this. Rovers third in the league, but realistically they're unlikely to win the title. Dundalk's concerns in the Premier Division have been more about survival. A recent run of 4 unbeaten seem to be helping them towards that. Kieran Kavanagh, formerly UCD. Throw from White. Riley. Vicious ball forward by Robinson. Now Hoy. Colwell in firmly. Billy Woods has it now with Shamrock Rovers. Most of their attacks have been up this left flank. Woods taking on White. Decent ball in. Cleared at the second attempt. Colwell. Thrown in. Tony Cousins. That's into the side net. Cousins now 32 years of age.
Jason Caldwell there, he's had a very lively start, and he's been in the middle of everything good for Shamrock Rovers in the midfield, that's for certain, and just spraying it out mainly to this left-hand side to Billy Woods.
Terry Palmer. Colwell, there he is again. Colwell in once more. The pace of this game is such that a little order is lacking in the proceedings. A bit of ping pong. First one team, then the other, and all done at high speed. Colwell. Derek Tracy. Woods. Towards Robinson at the back. The little man got up well. And Crawley took it away from his goalkeeper. And opted for the safety of the touchline.
Well, I think it's fair to say that Shamrock Rovers have had more crosses already in this game than they had perhaps in the last couple of games, and they really are utilising the width of the pitch, particularly on the left-hand side. Perhaps the quality of the crosses just haven't been gauged greatly yet.
Well won by Colwell there to regain possession for Shamrock Rovers. Now Woods. That wasn't one of the better crosses. Costello misjudging the bounce. Scully behind him to tidy up. Dick O'Hanlon saw a foul there by Crawley. Shane Robinson pushed off the ball. Free kick to Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah, he certainly showed a lot of spring there. Young Robinson climbing for that one and then fouled afterwards.
Scully has gone forward to add his weight as an extra centre forward. Free kick from Costello. Back for Robinson. Throw into Rovers. Costello. Opportunity here. Rowan. Get it away decisively. Costello's cross. Going away this time. Chance for Dundalk to break. Play towards Haylock. It's too long for him.
There was another example there of, said the cross is not particularly good standard there. There was a good build-up, and Dundalk were finding it hard to get that away. When it came to Craig Costello, he didn't, they say, get it past the first man, and they're not doing that.
Dowd sending his men forward. Cousins first there for Rovers. Crawley away. Scully indecisively offside. Flag is up against James Keddy.
Yeah, James Keddy took a chance there as that ball was coming down. He just took off, but he was about a good 2 yards off.
Costello with the free kick. Rowan climbing highest. Once again. Might have come for Cousins. It was Grant who got there.
Yeah, he just felt that, a good shout might have been the order of the play there. But the two Shamrock Rovers strikers are certainly instinctive goal scorers, so any little half chance they'll be trying for target.
That was won by Palmer. Hoy couldn't bring it under control. Tracy put up by White. McGuinness to see it back to Connolly. Palmer tangling with Haylock, and the Shamrock Rovers defender is the one who's penalised. Defending for Palmer and Scully to do. Rowan to take the free kick. Chase on here. Tony Grant, the man for Shamrock Rovers. Robinson. Tracy stepping over nicely. Cousins had the opportunity, had to be taken quickly, and Dundalk got a body in the way. Scully. Cronin. For Cousins, the layoff towards Grant. Here's Grant. Oh, saved by Connolly. Well, Grant got the position very well. The rising drive tipped away by the Dundalk keeper.
That was a lovely bit of interplay between Tony Cousins and Tony Grant, and there was just a minute ago there too, finishing with Tony Cousins the last time, that time with Tony Grant. He got a good left foot strike on it, and the keeper just got that hand to it.
Did well, John Connolly, but indicative of the fact it'll have to be taken again. The referee wasn't happy. Scully up with the attack again. Taken short. Will Scully bring him down? The answer is no. So now the whistle goes for an incident that the ball had gone. Foul by Crawley on Robinson, and a free kick in a decent position for Shamrock Rovers. Well, they opened up the Dundalk defence earlier on. They forced the corner. The corner wasn't properly dealt with, and now John Connolly's got to organise his defensive wall. Costello and Tracy, the two Shamrock Rovers players. One with the longest hair, one with the shortest hair. And it's Costello to play it flat. Tracy looking for Billy Woods, and blocked by Kieran Kavanagh.
Well, it was a nice little routine that, you know, straight from the training ground, and it nearly came off. The angle perhaps finished up a little bit sharp for Billy Woods. You see here the run over the ball is played in, just a little touch in there, and he doesn't get actually a full contact on it, but it was blocked anyway.
The corner for Shamrock Rovers. Robbing a lot of air there by Robinson. Vigorous challenge. Just left Pat Scully on the ground.
It just looks like it's a bit late coming in there. Stephen McGuinness just in that little bit late.
But all the pressure has been Shamrock Rovers. Dundalk restricted to the odd breakaway. You feel that Rovers will shortly be in a position to capitalise on this. Connolly has rescued Dundalk. They've conceded two corners. Palmer and Scully still up there to meet this free kick, which Costello will take. Not a good delivery, cleared away by Chris Lawless. Too long for Haylock to take any advantage.
For some reason, both sets of players are having a bit of trouble sort of gauging their kicks, if you like. It was Donald Brown with a free kick for Dundalk a short while ago. Didn't get any elevation there, and that time Greg Costello a few times has tried to get it in with no avail.
Grant away from his marker. Woods offering width to the left, but really not in a position to be of much assistance, and three Dundalk players around him. Tony Grant eventually running out of options, and Dundalk regaining possession. Glancing header on from Haylock, looking for Martin Riley, tied it up by Costello. Then it's Scully. Hoy for Haylock. Nicely played by Keddy. Crawley. Better by Dundalk. Too long for Riley.
Yeah, you do feel that Dundalk need to just get a few passes together just to take the steam out of the Shamrock Rovers' continuous onslaught, if you like. Mind you, having said that, Shamrock Rovers, they've got a lot of the play, but they're not really forcing John Connolly to do an awful lot. Okay, he had that tip over from Tony Grant, but apart from that, it's been a bit disappointing in terms of penetration.
Throw in from White. Lawless, nobody there to take advantage.
Dundalk just trying to get forward that little bit too quick.
Tracy, knocked away by White. Riley did well. Keddy now, Haylock ahead. Keddy tried to take on Pat Scully and succeeded, but Terry Palmer was there to rescue. Former teammates at UCD, one denying the other.
There's a fella from Dundalk, a lovely little layoff from Martin Riley just to set James Keddy free.
Palmer getting it clear. Worked out well from Billy Woods, though not maybe quite what he intended. Cousins. Billy Woods. Taking on White. Defender did enough. Corner to Shamrock Rovers.
That was good, good build-up play. It started with Cronin to Grant to Woods to earn the corner kick.
Scully pulling McGuinness out of the middle. Robertson with the corner once more. Connolly there, and second attempt gathering it in. Scully stood firm.
You just wonder really when John Connolly gets that ball. I mean, there's 3 against 2 when he's hitting it up, so advantage definitely Shamrock Rovers. You wonder perhaps he'd be better off just waiting and letting his team get out.
Crawley towards Haylock. Cronin getting it away, but not altogether successfully. Woods clearing, come to White. Now Grant. Thrown in uncompromisingly. Cronin, Tony Grant, Billy Woods. Haylock to take on Palmer. Palmer tries to go sideways. And who's to take control from the dog? The answer to that question is David Hoy. Back for White. Rovers push out. White's cross, so down came. It was Scully who dealt with it. Lawless won it then for Dundalk. Keddy back for Crawley. O'Dowd completely misjudged it, but the reason would appear to be the illegal interference of Kieran Kavanagh.
Just a little bit of a worry there, communication levels between O'Dowd and his defence there. He just came for the cross just before that incident, and Pat Scully actually elected. He probably didn't. It wasn't a fair to him shout, but that doesn't help in terms of, okay, when this comes in, he really doesn't get anywhere close to it. He gets the benefit of the doubt.
Woods. Rowan with the clearance. Hoy and White. Gathered up by Crawley and all the way back to Connolly. There's Tracy. Now Crawley.
I think of the two managers, Damien Richardson would probably be the more pleased. He's quoted as saying, he did say, I heard him saying that, you know, if they perform, Shamrock Rovers perform, then they will win. Well, they are performing up to a point. But I think it must be a worry that they've had so much possession, and I mean, part of performing, of course, is getting the strikes on goal.
Well, ironic cheers from the Shamrock Rovers fans. Mr. O'Hanlon clearly saw the offence and has awarded the free kick to Dundalk. McGuinness going there. McGuinness was the one closest to it, but unable to make contact. Goal kick to Shamrock Rovers.
Well, it is another example of, as you say, the final ball in terms of you know, the crosses, the free kicks. Players are just not getting it. There is a bit of a swirling wind, I suppose, across and down the pitch from left to right, favouring Dundalk this half. But I don't think that can be an excuse for a lot of what's happening out there in terms of the crosses.
Hoy won it. Fell with a clatter. The ball has gone out for a throw to Shamrock Rovers.
Come on, Bill! Billy, water turn! Come on, Bill!
And again. White. Back for Dundalk. And by Riley. Tidied up by Pat Scully. Now Cronin. Grant spotted Robinson free on the right, but couldn't get the pass to him. Kavanagh. And then it was Riley. One back by Colwell. Costello for Robinson. Hit more in hope than anything else, and no trouble to McGuinness. White. And all the way through.
Gary Haylock just having a word with John White there, saying, listen, just play it into my feet, not over the top.
Coming up to half an hour gone. The balance with Rovers, but no goals to show for it.
Of course, that comment, I mean, how many times have we seen it, that the team that has possession, they're caught. And of course, you would expect the home side to come into the game a little bit more than they have done.
Well, Kavanagh breaking free, having won the possession. Still going on. And it's come for Haylock, but he was offside. Rovers complaining about the nature of the challenge by Kieran Kavanagh that won the possession and started the movement.
It's a very strong, positive run by Kieran Kavanagh there. You know, he's trying to make some sort of an impact in terms of attacking play for Dundalk. But Gary Haylock, I think he should have seen. He should have been looking across his line there. Can't be caught offside.
Lawless getting it forward for Dundalk. Palmer standing firm, but it's come only as far as Keddy, taking on Colwell. Back with Crawley. Lay off to find Haylock, and on it goes for Hoy. Three in the middle for him. Hoy for Haylock. Gary Haylock puts Dundalk in front. And you'll have to say that was quite brilliant. The way they manufactured that opening, the way he found David Hoy, and the way David Hoy found him, and Gary Haylock found the back of the net.
Well, Gary Haylock goes for the supreme here. He's so much part of this here. It's played in. He just gets it out there to the right-hand side. There's a little touch from Gary Haylock. And it's the quality of the cross. He gets it across, just whips it in, and it's the left foot just guiding it past the goalkeeper. an excellent finish from an excellent goal scorer. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Really great goal by Dundalk. So what if it's against the run of play? Beautifully executed. And the home team are in front.
And that's exactly what we were saying, and it's always a problem. Shamrock Rovers, so much of the play, but it's always a worry. They did not get the penetration, and that's exactly what Dundalk achieved there with one very strong, good, positive movement.
Well, there's astute team selection for you too. David Hoy brought back into the side to offer the width on the right, and instrumental in creating the opening from which Haylock profited. And he's brought down by Billy Woods. Free kick to Dundalk.
It's an excellent example of goal scoring there. You know, Gary had, when that cross came in, you know, they say just pass the ball past the goalkeeper. That's exactly what he did. You see as it comes across here, he just guides it in.
It's goal number 6 of the season for him, and his second in the cup. He scored in the victory at Kilkenny back in January. It's a free kick from Kenny. And the studs were showing it'll be a free kick to Shamrock Rovers. Shane Robinson feeling the pain.
This is a real test now for Shamrock Rovers. You know, players, they can get it, they can go either one way now. I mean, they've had the play, they'll be feeling sorry for themselves. They were saying, what do we have to do to get on top in this game? Well, they were on top, but they didn't take advantage.
Whistle's gone again in Shamrock Rovers' favour. Certainly brought the home crowd to life. A lot of noise being made by a very sizable invasion from Dublin, but Dundalk fans now finding their voice. You have to acknowledge the atmosphere in Oriel Park is pretty good. Flags up, flags up. Whistle had gone before the ball found the net.
Well, I think you'll see that Pat Scully had drifted in behind there. When Terry Palmer helps it towards goal, Pat Scully is a push in the back there. We see there's the challenge there, and that's the push there against Stephen McGuinness by Pat Scully.
Free kick to Dundalk. Tracy bundled over, and a whistle rightly sounds against Kieran Kavanagh. And as Tracy attempted to bring it under control, there was certainly contact, and there was certainly enough to push over Eric Tracy. Connolly waits. Costello will take.
Well, as you could expect, there's Pat Scully and Stephen McGuinness there having a little push and shove match there, trying to gain position.
Costello fighting it. It was aimed at Palmer, who's only now got it. Just gripped by Donald Brohan. Free kick to Shamrock Rovers.
That's one of those free kicks where you say, well, you know, it's a sort of innocuous type of thing and totally unnecessary.
Too close to Connolly.
But again, there's example of the quality of Shamrock Rovers crosses, or, you know, even the final pass. You know, it just hasn't been there.
It's Cronin. And out for a throw to Dundalk. By Palmer. Caldwell caught in possession by Haylock. Couldn't find a white shirt. Tracy for Costello. And away for the throw. too hurried by Shamrock Rovers.
I do feel that it's very important for Shamrock Rovers that they get back to their basic game plan. And actually, we're talking about last Sunday again. The first 15 minutes against UCD, that was there. The UCD scored and then they lost it. I think it's so important that it doesn't happen here from their point of view. And that basically is getting the ball up to the strikers, up to their feet, feeding it back into the midfield, and then you can get it wide, or else go again in behind to turn defenders.
Grant against Rowan here. Grant coming off the better. Rowan's challenge puts it out of play. Throw to Shamrock Rovers. It's the old truth, isn't it? You've got to take your chances. Not that Shamrock Rovers have had that many. Billy Woods has been up and down that left touchline and has had the opportunity to send in the crosses, but it was only Tony Grant's effort that Connolly pushed away that would count as a real chance for Shamrock Rovers. Dundalk, from few enough attacks, manufactured a very fine goal. Throw once more to Shamrock Rovers. The door just closed on him. And that's a goal kick. His view was that if his team played to its potential, they'd win. If the Dundalk played to theirs, they would win. An evenly balanced cup tie, and the facial expression tells you that he's only too aware that it's Dundalk and Martin Murray's team who are playing to their potential. Shamrock Rovers aren't.
It is frustrating for a manager, but his team started off very lively. They really were enthusiastic. They know what's at stake here. And as a manager, I don't think you can do any more but prepare your team. And you can't sort of kick the ball for them. You can tell them what positions and what's your formation and all that. And I think that's where Shamrock Rovers have been let down here. Just as I say, the final pass and getting it into good when they're in good positions, making sure that they concentrate that a little bit more.
Jason Colwell, the player in the wars, bang on the head. And Kinsler administering first aid. Can't imagine that that will necessitate too long an absence for Jason Colwell. Dick O'Hanlon rightly stopping the game because he knew the Rovers man had taken a knock on the head.
Jason Colwell has had an excellent start here. I do think that the Shamrock Rovers midfield has just gone out of it again the last 10 minutes, and the reason for that is the Shamrock Rovers are not getting the good service from the back to the front mainly, which they were doing the first 15 minutes of this game.
Another throw. Rowan got there. Oh, it was Tracy, and that was too high. Worth taking the chance, but never got over it to keep it down.
There was no real conviction with that Derek Tracy effort. Okay, it was a snapshot, but he didn't really set himself right there.
They made the trek through dreadful traffic to get here to Dundalk, and at this stage they must be wondering, was it worth it? Costello. It's Robinson. Crossed out of it.
Baby, get right!
Crowley with the throw.
Baby, right!
Cronin.
That was got a Cronin there. That was a good ball play up the line to Tony Grant there. He just needs to hold that and then just bring his midfield into the play.
Cronin's throw. Cronin's cross. No trouble at all to Connolly.
Again, another example of you know, making it easier for the opposition, straight into the goalkeeper.
Riley losing out to Palmer. It's Kavanagh, Hoy. Riley in chase. He did well to force the corner. Martin Riley's pace ensured that he could make that count, and so he's won for Dundalk, their first corner of the night. Tony O'Dowd poised and ready. Not well dealt with by Costello. It's there! The final touch was Haylock's. Bad defending by Shamrock Rovers. A dreadful defensive header by Craig Costello. The ball forced toward the goal, and Gary Haylock applied the finishing touch. Terrible header that. And forced in by Haylock.
Right, it is. It's a bad. Greg Costello doesn't really get a good head. No defensive header there. He just really helps it on. And it's a Donald Brown at the far post there. Just coming in, just helps it down, and Jason Caldwell's trying to take it off the line, but it's a very sloppy goal from Shamrock Rovers' point of view. And of course, earned by Martin Riley. Chasing was a hopeless ball to get that corner kick. Certainly an uphill struggle now for Shamrock Rovers.
Now that goal coming in the final minutes of the first half. And the vastly experienced Gary Haylock, man who's been around the houses and it's been so effective wherever he's gone. And where he is now is in Dundalk, and that's where he's scoring goals. And my goodness, how important those two could be in the context of this season from Gary Haylock. Born in Bradford, turned 30 on New Year's Eve, joined Dundalk from Shelburne last December. Over a decade in the National League, and a goal scorer supreme wherever he's been.
Well, there was a little half chance there for Derek Tracy when it came onto his left foot, but he just couldn't get it on target.
The half of his dreams, I'd say. Martin Murray trying to pilot Dundalk to their first FAI Cup final since 1993, when significantly that man Gary Haylock was playing for the Shelburne team that beat Dundalk. Final whistle of the first half. Great half it's been for Dundalk, thriving on a paucity of chances, converting the two they had, both by Gary Haylock. Dundalk lead Rovers at half-time, 2-0.
Yeah, it's just, to say the old expression, the funny old game. I mean, Shamrock Rovers, you know, it's very similar to the way that things have been happening to them recently. You know, they've been dominating, if you like, for a lot of the games, and you see this, it's a very, very poor defensive play.
Half-time at Oriel Park, Dundalk 2, Shamrock Rovers 0.
Well, Martin Murray, they had a lot of the possession in that first half, but you've got the goals, and that's all that counts.
Well, yes, Michael, I think early on they were on top of us, but you know, I felt as the game went on, we came into it a lot more, but worrying times early on. But to score 2 goals is, you know, is tremendous, and you know, I think we can only lose it ourselves from here.
when Gary Haylock scored the first for you, it was like there was a switch flicked in the side and suddenly you sparked.
Well, yeah, as you say, goals change games, and that gave us a bit of confidence. And obviously they're still a threat, especially from set pieces. But we've got to weather that in the second half, and hopefully go on and win the game.
You have one foot in the final, Martin.
Yes, but unfortunately, we need two.
What did you make of that first half?
I thought that it's a hammer blow for Rovers to concede the goal before half-time. The first goal, that can happen. It was a tremendous goal from Dundalk. Experienced finisher, terrific finish. Going in at half-time, you're 1-0 down. Win the second half and you're still in the cup. Now it's a little bit more difficult. Damien's got to dig deep. They've got to start the second half well. But there's still one goal puts them right back into this game. And, if you're a Rovers fan, you've got to say, well, they've had 3 corners, Dundalk have only had 1. But that's the cup. Dundalk were very, very nervous to start off with. They settled well, they came into it, and even, I thought Rovers off for the first 20 minutes well on top, but after that, a very even game, Dundalk have taken the chances.
Pat, what's happened to Shamrock Rovers? Owen mentioned it during the commentary. We made mention of it as well off air. The game on Sunday against UCD, exactly the same. Shamrock Rovers tore into it. First 15 minutes they were great. UCD got a goal, and then the heads dropped and things just started to go against them. And the same thing has happened here.
I'll tell you what's happened. When they've been on top, they haven't scored. And then you concede goals on the break to teams. It destroys your morale. And if you look at that second goal that they've conceded, Donald Brohan jumping above Pat Scully, a huge lump of a man to get across. Pat Scully's looking for a foul.
Let's look at the first goal. We look at Donald's intervention in that Dundalk goal, the second one in a minute. This was a lovely
Very
goal.
good ball from Crawley, intelligent flick, but this is brilliant from Haylock. But the most important thing, do your work outside the box, good cross, get across Palmer, 1-0. And I tell you, he's the man for the big occasion. He absolutely loves it. And what a finish. Terry Palmer got caught flat-footed, decent cross from Hoey, but it's all about the finish. That finish has made the cross. And he's opened up his body, he's guided it in, he's left Tony O'Dowd with very little chance.
And the second goal really has changed the game, hasn't it? It's going to make it very difficult for Damien Richardson to be talking to his players now. 1-0, as you say, you have a chance. OK, 2-0, a goal, get a goal back and you're back into it. But this came at a really important time for Dundalk.
Yeah, Kenny, it's a decent delivery. It's missed the first man, but Costello's a little bit unfortunate. But this is the key. Talk about Gary Haylock's goal. No, that's Donald Brohan's goal. He's got across Scully. He hasn't fouled him. He's put it down in there, and Haylock's tapped it in. Colwell a little bit unfortunate, but again, it's about belief, and Rovers have to say to themselves now, we haven't won the cup since the 80s. We're the team with a great cup tradition, and we can still do this. It's only one goal that gets them back into this match, and they're quite capable of that. They've got a little wind as well, and they've got to be very careful they don't play the ball too directly, because it'll run out of play.
Shamrock Rovers didn't have too many great moments in the first half, but they had a really nice moment. A great save from the goalkeeper. It was Tony Grant's chance.
Yeah, you can talk yourself down as well. People are still saying this is typical Rovers, or they concede a goal that has... I don't believe that. They conceded a bad goal from a set piece. Here's some nice movement. He's got to hit that hard and low. It's on his weaker side. Decent save by the goalkeeper, but it's a nice height, so he's always going to save it. Drive those hard and low, and you get a reward. Just ask my players.
Absolutely. Well, can Shamrock Rovers come back into this?
Of course they can. Get that next goal. If Dundalk get the next goal, that's curtains for Shamrock Rovers. But if Rovers get it, 2-1, the Dundalk crowd will start to get edgy and nervous, the Rovers crowd will get a lift, and you're right back into this cup tie. And it's all about that belief. First 20 minutes, absolutely crucial.
OK, Pat, thanks a lot. Let's check.
Getting a touch of the chilly side here at Oriel Park, but plenty of fire in the football, and a lot to look forward to in the coming 45 minutes. The Cup Kings, well, they haven't been in a final since 1991 when they lost to Galway. Johnny Glynn's goal. They haven't won it since 1987. Dundalk, ironically, have won it more recently than Shamrock Rovers have. Their record last win 1988 and last final 1993. Dick O'Hanlon, who's actually a resident of County Tipperary, even though his refereeing credentials have a Waterford address on them. And ready to get the second half underway. 45 minutes for Shamrock Rovers to fight their way back. And if ever a match proved it, it's this one, that no matter how much you dominate, if you can't put the ball in the net, you're going to go nowhere. No changes on either side. Seasons come and seasons go, and matches come and go, and there are 33 league matches and a League Cup and an FAI Cup to be contested. But if ever a team's season came down to one match, well, this would be Shamrock Rovers' match, because if they don't get through to the cup final, they're going to end this empty-handed. And it's going to mean huge pressure on their manager, Damien Richardson. They have a free kick back in their own box.
I think a lot of credit must go to Shamrock Rovers and Damien Richardson. I mean, the season that they've had. I mean, it finish up, of course, very disappointing if they were to go out of this tonight. But I think it's a huge thing to be sort of as a gypsy, if you like, going around and playing in different grounds. Every game is an away game, and to be in contention this late in the season, I think it's credit due to them.
Shane Robinson did well there. Cousins back towards Robinson, but it's just not quite wide enough. Crawley with the throw. It's Costello. Haylock dispossessed by Colwell. Now back with Cronin for Shamrock Rovers. Grant is on the ground. And no offside here. Flag has stayed down. Opportunity for Dundalk. Number 3. Sensationally, Martin Riley has put them right in control of this match. Rovers may complain that Tony Grant was down and needed treatment. They seem to be concentrating more on him than on what was happening in their defence. Riley took his chance, bided his time. Rovers clearly thought he was offside, but what a finish. What a finish from Martin Riley. His 3rd cup goal in 6 this season, and Dundalk lead by 3 goals to 0.
Well, you know, when Hoy just plays this ball over, I mean, Shamrock Rovers, they do what you should never do. I mean, you play to the whistle. They were expecting a free kick to be given for the foul on Tony Grant. Wasn't given. Martin Riley, as you say, I mean, he is an excellent finisher. He kept his cool, but it was a fantastic finish. But, you know, this is it's looking very, very bad now for Shamrock Rovers. You know, we were saying there's another goal in this game, Pat Dole was saying, but it went to the wrong side as far as Shamrock Rovers are concerned. Very, very difficult to come back from a 3 now.
And they just haven't been playing well of late at all, Shamrock Rovers. And this puts the tin hat on it. 3-0 down in just the 3rd minute of the 2nd half at Oriel Park.
It's a very disappointing, you know, the 2 goals, in fact, you know, the 2nd goal from the corner kick and that goal there, very poor in terms of, you know, a whole season wrapped up in sort of too little lack of concentration, but that's what you get, and that's what football is all about.
Pat Dolan making the point at half-time that, of course, Rovers had to get out there and get that goal. Well, they didn't really expect that at the start of the 2nd half. Exactly what they didn't want. And their recent form has been such to suggest that they're a long way from salvaging this tie. Only 1 goal in their last 4 games. That and the 1-1 draw against Bohemians. They were knocked out of the League Cup by Limerick. They lost at Derry and they lost at home to UCD. And they didn't score in any of those games. And now their top scorer, Sean Francis, unfit for this one. They have to score 3 to salvage this, and they've gone 3 matches without scoring a single one. Dundalk, by contrast, a team in form. Draw with Bohemians preceded by victory over Longford, then a draw away to Galway, and the replay win over Finn Harps. 4 unbeaten for Dundalk, 3 losses. losses on the bounce for Shamrock Rovers.
It looks like somebody has said something or somebody thrown something, but you know, I just feel that the life has gone out of this game. I mean, you look at Damien Richardson there; he's looking pretty forlorn. We just hope now there's no crowd trouble going to boil over frustrated fans.
There were some problems here last week ago, yesterday, when Bohemians came. A shame it would have been anything similar here now. Just to clarify, in case I misled you, 4 unbeaten in the league. Counting the cup matches, it's 6 unbeaten now for Dundalk, and they lead 3-0 on the night. Tracy. Tracy again. Billy Woods hoisting it in towards Grant. And Connolly happy to tip it away. First quarter of the second half, and it's to Shamrock Rovers. Well flighted, but no Shamrock Rovers player there to take advantage. Colwell knocked wide towards Billy Woods. But out of play it goes. Goal kick. Back to defensive formation. Pat Scully exhorting the troops to more effort. It's going to take some effort to get them back in contention in this game. Chasing. Conan first there. Clutching his chest after collision with Woods. Instrumental in the scoring of the first goal.
It looks like Mark Kenny's going to make an appearance soon.
Dundalk still swarming forward. To Dundalk. Hoyer's back. Tracy bringing it free for Shamrock Rovers. Eventually back with O'Dowd. Route 1 unsuccessful.
Yeah, you feel Shamrock Rovers have just you know, they've lost the game plan, you know, the sharpness that they had in the first 15-20 minutes of this game, and they just desperately need something to happen. I mean, just scrape a goal somehow. Mistake by Dundalk defender, anything, an own goal, anything just to get them some little bit of life back into their game. The problem is, of course, you're playing away from home, a cup tie, semi-final, you're 3 down. It just seems, it's a mental thing. The opposition seem to just get that little bit faster. They seem to have maybe 15 men to your 9, or whatever it might be. It's a psychological thing. It's very, very hard to get space, and you really need to dig very deep.
Haylock, off his head, out of play. Free kick, Shamrock Rovers. And the change is being made. It's Shane Robinson who's going off to be replaced by Mark Kenny. Change coming after 10 minutes of the second half. Over everybody's head and harmlessly away. Mark Kenny is a player who is a big occasion man, and he's also a player who can pack up, as Pat Dolan was saying at half-time, a fair old punch with a free kick from anywhere around the box.
Well, I suppose he's our answer to David Beckham.
Riley on for Keddy. Palmer with him. Keddy's cross, and it took an intervention from Pat Scully to keep it away. Still not clear, and Riley just got the angle a little wrong. But they're still firing, still probing, still asking questions of the Shamrock Rovers defence. They're looking for a big win, Dundalk.
Yeah, I think that, you know, Damien Rich has been looking at his side, and he'll be thinking about next season. You know, he'll be thinking professionally about, okay, looking around and seeing who's actually going to give us something, try to get us back into this game, because they're the guys that he'll want to keep.
Grant, Colwell, Kenny. McGuinness trying to clear. It's that Colwell again. Costello. Grant made the room for himself, the angle very tight. Oh, just pulled in behind the front man. Billy Woods was there, but the ball came in behind him. Now Tracy's lost the possession. Lawless. Support here from Haylock. On for Keddy. Found the gap, James Keddy. Oh, yes! It's all over now. And we're only 13 minutes into the second half. James Keddy strikes for Dundalk.
Well, you know, it's tragedy because Tony Grant did wonders down the far end to create a good chance, and then Dundalk, we're saying about them having sort of a fresher leg, and it's seeming that way, and this is a good example of it. They broke down this left-hand side. Gary Hale just slips it into, yeah, look at the room there, defenders laying off, and Billy Woods just got the time. See, when Gary Hale plays this inside there, the closing down is pretty, see, when he comes inside there, he should be closed. But it opens up and he hits it with his right foot, not his favourite, but right into the corner.
Terrific goal by James Keddy. His 6th of the season, his 3rd of the FAI Cup. Scored both of the replay against Finn Harps in the 2-0 victory. And now this. And they firmly believe that this is Dundalk on the way to the FAI Cup final. Do you know something? It's the first time they've scored 4 goals this season. Shamrock Rovers staring at a very, very serious reverse indeed.
I do believe the odds were 9-4, both sides here, but you certainly would have got really strong ones on this scoreline.
Rovers haven't conceded 4 this season. Dundalk haven't scored 4 this season. It's happened tonight in Oriel Park, and there's still over half an hour of it remaining.
You know, if you analyse it, I'm sure that Damien Richardson will be doing that now for the rest of this season. Where did it go wrong? And I think he's got to say, look, really, there's certain factors that it's losing the game plan, and you can take it, would he blame himself, or would he analyse and say his players, he doesn't have the players to implement what he wants to put across. Certainly the first half of games they've been doing it, but as soon as things start to go against them, the heads drop.
And another change about to be made by Shamrock Rovers. Certainly Pat Deans is going to enter the midfield to try and bolster things up, but is that too little too late? Who's going to leave? Player off is Pat Scully. They're sacrificing centre half to send on a midfield man.
Pat Deans is one of those versatile players. He can play equally well at centre back or midfield. I think he's slotted directly in for Pat Scully.
Taken well by Connolly. Costello. Chance here for Grant. Pushed wide of the post.
Nice sharp turn by Tony Grant there. He was just closed very quickly there. And just forced to hit that shot just wide. I was actually just deflected from a corner kick.
Second corner of the half. And it's Shamrock Rovers. Lawless trying to force it away. It's across the face of John Connolly's goal and out.
It really is a case of damage limitation. And like I say, Damien Richardson just look for something positive out of it. As far as Dundalk are concerned, well, you know, it's been a great night for them, and of course Gary Haylock takes an awful lot of credit to getting the goal against the run of play, it might be said, but that's what happens. We predicted it, if you like, about you've got to take the chances.
Riley over the top for Keddy. Palmer got there first. Here's Deans. Cousins. Mark Kenny. Cronin as Woods moves ahead. A misplaced pass, and Lawless digs it out for Dundalk. It's a little tap of the ankles there. Gary Haylock giving away the free kick. Protesting his innocence, but it's quite obvious what happened, and it is a free kick. Tony O'Dowd to take the free kick for Shamrock Rovers. Cousins with the layoff. Woods. Well, he hit the target, fine effort. Unfortunately for him, straight at the goalkeeper.
He keeps it down very well there, Billy Woods, but unfortunately you say directly at the goalkeeper.
Rowan. Deans is the last man back. Shamrock Rovers' final change is about to be made. Last throw of the dice for Damien Richardson, but Lawless is away here for Dundalk. Lawless's cross, it's gone out, it's a goal kick, and Stephen Grant can come on for Shamrock Rovers.
An excellent run forward from Chris Lawless there, and it's very difficult. You know, you're 4-0 down, you know, you're making the runs from midfield there, nobody tracking him. He got completely free down that right hand side, but again his final ball let him down.
Well, Stephen Grant isn't yet going to come on. Thought about it and then thought better of it as the rain begins to fall in Oriel Park. Kieran Kavanagh, David Hoy, and out of play. The terrace begins to empty as the fans who were out there in the open begin to seek sanctuary from the elements. But he won't feel a thing, Martin Murray. It's Crawley. Dean's last man back. Cousins, but only presented it to Crawley. Deans, Cousins, broken free to Costello. It's Kenny. Tony Grant is chasing. Goal kick. The steady drizzle sheeting in behind Shamrock Rovers. Their efforts continue to penetrate Dundalk's rearguard, but singularly unsuccessful. We've almost reached the midpoint of the second half, and now Rovers want to bring on Stephen Grant. First, John Connolly will take the goal kick. Keddy on. Riley. Haylock had to check his run there, and he'd run offside. Cronin. Cousins helping it back. Tracy. Too long for Grant. And gathered in by the goalkeeper.
Shamrock Rovers they're leaving three at the back now, and Greg Costello pushing much on the right hand side, so it's kind of a 3-5-2 they're playing, but you just feel that it's trying out stuff now, really.
Well, now that it's out, they can make that change. Stephen Grant is going on, and the man being replaced is Shamrock Rovers captain Derek Tracy.
Number 14, Stephen Grant.
Sacrificing a midfield man for a striker.
Number 14, Stephen Grant, replacing number 7, Derek Tracy.
Grant, a goal scorer, and a proven one at that. But it's asking a lot of him at this stage of the game. A, to add to his tally of 7, and B, to be able to turn the game around. Handball against Chris Lawless. The strength of the breeze meaning that an awful lot of the play for the remaining quarter of the game is likely to take place in this right-hand half, occupied by Dundalk. Mark Kenny just struck it too long with the breeze behind it.
It was a good delivery. It was just he said that the timing had to be spot on, just the slightest little touch, and it could have been in the back of the net. But that's the way it's been with Shamrock Rovers these last few games, just anything they're trying, not coming off, and then, as I say, just lapses of concentration at vital times the other end, costing them dearly.
Now this has come free to Kenny here. Maybe another opportunity for Dundalk. Kenny still. Crawley. The head he found was that of Gareth Cronin. Browan there. No flag again. Late flag. Well, it was rather slow coming up, but eventually the flag did go up to indicate that.
Yeah, Gary Haylock definitely came from an offside position, as you say. The flag very late going up.
Couldn't bring it under control, but again that breeze stiffening so much Dundalk unable to get rid of it. The ball tended to come back at them.
But isn't it a lovely position to be in with that huge wind building up against you, but you've got the cushion of a 4-0 lead.
Too well to keep it down because less likely to be affected by the elements. Haylock caught by Deans. Free kick and a yellow card. Pat Dean's name goes in the book for that challenge of Gary Haylock. First yellow card of this match. And Haylock none the worse for it. And free kick will be taken by Donald Brown. Came off Cronin's head, and it's presented to Dundalk with their first quarter of the second half, and only their second of the game. And we might recall that it was from the first corner that they scored a goal. Donald Brown setting up their second for Gary Haylock. So can they manage to make the second corner pay as effectively as did the first? Swung in by Keddy, but into the arms of Tony O'Dowd. Cousins, Kenny, away by McGuinness. Again, the breeze playing its part. Dundalk able to break free. Hoy looking for Haylock over the head of Deans. Now he's all alone. But he's seen off Costello's challenge. Still Haylock. Crawley there in support. Keddy makes move to the wing. That's for him. Pat Deans with him. And Dean's challenge sends Keddy rolling. And James Keddy's won the free kick. He's suffering a little cramp.
Pat Dean's just going in a bit of a rash challenge there, but he's got to be careful. He's on yellow card.
David Crawley will take the free kick. Not particularly well delivered, but it's not particularly well cleared. Kavanagh and now Keddy. Stopped by Costello. Keddy in again. It's Costello once more. Colwell. Billy Woods. Hoy comes to challenge. Now it's the turn of Lawless to challenge, and he makes his count.
Like I say, it's very difficult to find space when you're 4 down.
Now, and controlling the ball is proving as difficult as it did on that occasion. Dundalk being advised to get on with it. You'd think they'd be quite happy to. Certainly gone their way despite the early flurry from Shamrock Rovers. They took the lead and never looked back. That goal just before half-time to make it 2 made them believe. The early strike from Martin Riley playing to the whistle. There was surely no way back for Rovers, and 11 minutes after that James Keddy drilled one home to emphasise the point.
They couldn't have, but the timing of the second and the third goals were absolutely crucial.
And that about summed up Rovers' night. Greg Costello tried to get Tony Grant away, but stretching to force the ball forward and trying to get wind assisted as well, carried it away from the striker, out of play. Costello, it's Grant. Colwell. It might come here for Tony Cousins. It wouldn't come down. Colwell went in, and it's ended up with a goal kick. Donald Brown, what a masterful achievement of an evening he's had. He used to play right back for Bohemians. He's been playing centre half here at Dundalk and solidly holding the Dundalk defence together. And with the header that created the opening for Gary Haylock to score the second goal.
Yeah, there was a little bit of... I thought actually Donovan had scored it, but I think that Gary Haylock did get the touch right on the line, because Jason Caldwell might have cleared it. So credit Gary Haylock for being there.
1.25 of an hour to go. Yes, it's true. 4-0 to Dundalk. Free kick from Pat Deans. Stephen McGuinness put it out of play. Throw to Shamrock Rovers.
Of course, what a boost this is for Dundalk, and what build-up they will have for a cup final. It gives them a great lift, because there's been tough times here at Dundalk over this last few years. I think it's great, and credit Martin Murray, because he's stuck with it, and it's really good now. So looking forward to the cup final, whether it be against Bows or Derry.
There's still some unfinished business in the league. They're currently down there in a relegation playoff place, but of course, seeing off Shamrock Rovers in this style, you'd fancy them in a relegation playoff. Cross from Keddy. Palmer stretching. Corner to Dundalk.
It's very indicative now. Dundalk are just leaving. They've got 5 back at the halfway line. It's their corner kick. That tells a story.
No pressing need to add to this tally at all. Goalkeeper and centre forward collided. The goal was not under threat. Here's Browan. Opportunity there for Lawless, just not powerful enough to trouble O'Dowd.
He got it on the target with the left foot, just had a flash at it.
All the way through to Connolly at the other end. Dean's beaten by Riley. Keddy back for Crawley. Rowan. Palmer underneath it. Colwell. Kenny. Hoy getting in there. The ball squirting free. Throw to Shamrock Rovers. Grant. Finding Colwell, back for Costello. Caught it well. Just wide of the post. Had the keeper full stretch, but not quite out of the goal.
That's a good build-up, and it finishes up with Greg Costello. It breaks here to him, just comes across a little bit, and he just drags it. I think he thought there was a nick for a corner kick, and he's not going to get anywhere doing this. It's frustrating, of course it is, but you never win those arguments.
No truer words spoken. Well, the wind has obviously died somewhat. Connolly able to get his goal kick into the Shamrock Rovers half. Boy unable to bring it under control and keep it in play and continue the attack. McGuinness that was. Crawley sending it forward once more. Palmer underneath it. Challenge firmly by Crawley. Oh! Elbow in the face of Greg Costello. The elbow was up into the face of David Crowley, the Dundalk captain, and Dick O'Hanlon has the yellow card out, and I think it might have been a red. Costello already in trouble for saying too much, and then a challenge that involved an elbow to the face of David Crowley, and I think he's fortunate to stay on the pitch after this.
Well, you see Greg Costello, he comes in here and it's the shoulder more. The elbow just comes up slightly at the end of it. But, you know, he really is, he's lucky. He could easily have been a red. I think Greg Costello has got to learn. You would think, I mean, he's what, Greg has been a long time around. And I know it's a very frustrating thing, but it's not the way and try and get something back out of this game.
Kenny. And I think it also credit David Crowley in that incident. He didn't make a meal of it. The Dundalk captain was straight back up again. He knew he'd been fouled, he knew he'd been wrong, but he certainly didn't set about getting Costello set off. He was straight back up on his feet again. Here he is on the ball. Not where he intended it to go. Connolly out to gather it in the final 10 minutes. Kenny now for Dundalk. And Dundalk want to make a change.
Chris Lawless going off to a good round of applause, well deserved. He's been pretty lively there in the midfield, making some very positive runs, getting a great ovation.
And John Flanagan is the man to take his place. Well, they certainly appreciated the contribution of Chris Lawless to this victory. Well, not quite officially a victory yet, but at 4-0 with, what, 7 or so minutes to go, he'd be a brave man to bet on anything other than Dundalk in the final.
I do think at this stage, you know, a consolation goal is all Shamrock Rovers could hope to get out of this.
Colwell pulled off it by Kenny. Free kick to Shamrock Rovers. Dangerous one in there. Palmer got up. Well delivered free kick by Mark Kenny. Palmer got there.
That was good delivery in and good contact, but just could not keep it down. You see Mark Kenny just whipping this in. He just gets under it. I just do feel the stewards have got to be a little bit vigilant at this touchline here, because there's a few objects being thrown, one of them being a bottle I just spotted.
A chance here for Riley again to get in behind the defender. He very nearly did. Did well to get behind the defender, but couldn't direct the shot onto the goal. Cousins on for Costello, trying to lob Connolly. He was happy to see it sail over the crossbar.
These last, what, 6 minutes, they've just been played out now, and you know, it's a tale of two teams, there's no doubt. I think, you know, Damien Richardson, we want, like going back to last Sunday again, it was amazing actually. What I perceived was a sort of the lack of urgency for a side that was in the running for the championship, or still are, but didn't show that last week.
Well, Riley has fed Flanagan here. And very nearly made his way back to Riley. It took the intervention of Terry Palmer to guide it away. Hey! Kenny did really well to get Riley away. And then it was Flanagan. And Palmer just got his head of the way to guide it clear. And the corner will come from the boot James Keddy. Well, in fact, they're going to take it short by the look of it. And they've gone for Browan. Browan. And then for Hoy. Terry Palmer with a rather rash challenge.
It's a shame if it does finish up a bit niggly like this. So it just... See Terry Palmer there. I mean, he's pulled the shirt, and again, this is frustration. You got the incident with Greg Costa and Terry Palmer. Both players experienced enough to know better.
Sponsored by Carlsberg, and also there's a European Mortgage Trade Centre on the match. Please go to Dundalk. Number 9, Gary Haylock.
Just announced as man of the match, Gary Haylock. Well, a 2-goal contribution certainly goes some way to helping you achieve that status. But you'd have to say there's been more than Gary Haylock have been very effective for Dundalk tonight.
Well, yes, I do think. I mean, the midfield eventually got a hold of it there. You know, Chris Lawless and Kieran Kavanagh, they worked away. They eventually did get come into the game. Of course, goals do have, as we know. Martin Riley, of course, a brilliant finish for his goal. James Keddy very effective on this left-hand side, and you know, defensively they've been sound. I mean, Donald Rowan and Steve McGuinness did their job. They stuck to it because, you know, the two Cousins and Grant, they can be a handful, but they stuck with it, and I think it was indicative of the first half when Shamrock Rovers did have the pressure and did have a lot of the ball. They didn't create many goal-scoring chances.
Throw into Shamrock Rovers. Presented itself to Billy Woods. Connolly at the second attempt.
He's, you know, twice he's dropped it there, John Connolly, and he was able to retrieve the situation on both occasions. But he was there when it was needed.
Keddy with the cross. Kenny on for Grant. Offside again.
It was a close call, that, but it was just offside.
Maybe as we enter the final minute. Connolly did well.
I see John Connolly there. You see when he rose to get that there. He's a little push. I think it was to Palmer. I suppose it doesn't matter at this stage of the game, but if things are going against you, they can be given.
I suppose in the way this game has gone, the way the form book would suggest it would. Dundalk unbeaten in the last 6. Rovers 3 consecutive defeats, and without a single goal in any of those. They've gone goals shy. It's happened again tonight, while Dundalk built on the confidence of the first goal. And as you said, Owen, the second and third goals came at precisely the right moments, just before half-time, just after half-time, and that more or less killed the tie. And the cake well and truly iced by James Keddy's effort. 3 minutes of added time, 3 minutes of misery for Shamrock Rovers to endure.
It seems that the season just dragged on that bit too long for Shamrock Rovers, and perhaps, and I do think that not having their own ground has had a huge effect. It was only a short while ago up at Dalymount Park, I watched them battle to get a 1-1 draw with Bohemians, and it really was a battling performance. But that has gone out of their game over the last couple of weeks. You know, the defeat up in Derry, down in Limerick, UCD last week, and now here it's kind of really come to the fore. It's kind of a climaxed.
A chance for Cousins, Connolly out of his goal.
You know, somebody might say, okay, where's it going wrong for Denver? What does he need? Well, they're getting what they need. That is a ground. And of course, you'll always be looking to strengthen the team. I think, you know, there's been talk, okay, perhaps a bit more invention in midfield when they are in possession, to be able to spread the play, to change the play. The job that Kevin Hunt does so well for Bohemians. But I think it's forget tonight anyway.
Dundalk with 8 cup wins, second only to Shamrock Rovers. Magnificent record of 25. Well, Rovers aren't going to add to that tally this season. Dundalk will have the opportunity. 4-0 up. They met in the final in 1987, the last time Shamrock Rovers won the cup. Dundalk's last cup victory was in 1988. Farewell for Kieran Kavanagh.
Aaron Callaghan coming on there for Dundalk. Aaron Callaghan is a very experienced, normally a central defender, but he's just gone into midfield just to have a couple of minutes here. Enjoy the occasion.
Kenny with the free kick. Gathered in by Connolly. Now Kenny. Came off Kenny. Costello. Kenny getting the better of him. It's Haylock. Flanagan. And Haylock caught by Costello. He's off now. There was something inevitable about that, really, wasn't there? He'd been skating on the thin ice for quite a while. He showed dissent to the referee. Dick O'Hanlon overlooked that, allowing frustration. He then got a yellow when he might have got a red when the elbow went into the face of David Crawley, the Dundalk captain. And that was one challenge too far. There was no second yellow. A straight red for Greg Costello for the foul on Gary Haylock.
Well, it is. It's pointless, really, you know, from an experienced player. You know, at this stage of the game, what is it? It means he's out for the remaining whatever 2 or 3 games of the season for Shamrock Rovers. A player with Greg Costello's experience should not do things like that.
Deans couldn't climb quite high enough. The final whistle sounds. The 29th Cup meeting of Dundalk at Shamrock Rovers ends in Dundalk's first victory over the hoops in 44 years in the Cup. Their 7th in the sequence. Martin Riley scoring number 3 in the 3rd minute of the second half. James Kenny number 4 in the 14th to add to the 2 before half-time from Gary Haylock. That was not in the script, but my word, what a result for Martin Murray and Dundalk in the FAI Cup final for the first time since 1993. And Martin Murray has achieved wonders for Dundalk.
Yeah, it's a very good performance, and you know they took the pressure that Shamrock Rovers were. They knew that Shamrock Rovers would cut at them early. They had to. Shamrock Rovers had to be alive at the start of this game, so they weathered the storm. They defended very well, and then when the chances came, they broke very intelligently. And the first goal was really a cracker. It was set up so well. Gary Haylock, right, he instigated the move out to right, and what a great finish. And then to say a little bit of you know, carelessness in the Shamrock Rovers defence. Didn't defend properly for the corner kick just before the half-time, and then fell asleep, you know, when they thought there was a free kick should have been given, felt sorry for themselves and left Martin Riley clean through, and that killed the tie effectively. You know, the James Kenny finish was excellent then, when he contained to finish with his right foot. But credit Dundalk, excellent performance, and as I say, a great boost for them.
Well, these were the goals that won it for Dundalk. First, the lovely ball in for David Hoy and the finish from Gary Haylock. Then the poor header by Greg Costello. Donald Broad at the back post, finished by Haylock. Martin Riley beat the offside trap. Rovers stopped playing. He played on. The finish was supreme. And the final goal, James Keddy from the edge of the box with a sweet drive. 4-0 to Dundalk. And to compound the misery for Shamrock Rovers, Greg Costello involved in that second goal. Sent off. So, that's how it ended. Let's join Michael Lester.
Yeah, well, Martin Murray, we spoke to you at half-time. You had, as I said to you then, 1 foot in the final. They're both in it now.
Yeah, what a night, really. I mean, beyond my wildest dreams to win 4-0, and obviously the early goal in the second half really sort of settled it. And after that we were fairly comfortable, really. So I don't know. I think we've been threatening to do this to somebody maybe all season. And if we're going to hit a bit of form, then it's the right time for us, because obviously our league position is a bit precarious at the moment.
Well, obviously, Martin, a performance like this, apart from putting you into the cup final, would be a boost as well as you go into the later stages of the league now. Yes,
absolutely. But this is, I don't know. You look at the supporters. We've had a tough season. I know, in fairness to the chairman especially and the rest of the board, I mean, they've been tremendous and they've worked terribly hard, and so they deserve a day, and they're going to get it. But we have to look to next Friday now in St. Patrick's, which is an even bigger game for us, because we need to stay in the Premier Division. Dundalk needs to stay in the Premier Division.
At half-time in this particular match, when you were 2 up, I'm sure you were hoping that you would hold on to that lead. You couldn't possibly have asked for what happened in the second half.
No, we've scored some good goals tonight, and but we worked tremendously hard. We weathered the storm in the first half. But in the second half, I think goals change games, and obviously from Rovers' point of view, when we got the third one, I mean, I think that knocked the stuffing right out of them. So, it was. I'm not saying it was easy. It's never easy, but it was as comfortable as it's been all season.
Well, you can enjoy the rest of the weekend, and you can watch the second semi-final on Sunday, Bows and Derry. What do you think about that one?
Difficult one to call. Bows, we played Bows here.
Well, there's no need for what has happened just behind you, Martin, but sorry, just briefly before you go.
Bows are the best team we played. They really they played us off the park last week, and so it's a difficult one. But Derry have got some very good players. Coyler can turn a game, so I think from that point of view, it's going to be a tight game,
Martin, disappointed Rovers supporters behind you, obviously. Congratulations to you tonight, and well done.
Yeah. Okay, I'm bringing it home as well.
OK, well done to Martin and all the Dundalk players. Really a sensational victory for them here at Oriel Park tonight. Pat Dolan, can you put words on that? It really was something else.
It's an extraordinary night. Every game has its own plot. It's unique. And as the story develops, it's the ending that's important. And what dictates the ending are goals. And if you look just before half-time, the game changed. Rovers well in the game. Martin Riley chased a lost course, got his reward from a corner, and they scored from it. Poor defending from Rovers. And then, as we said, Rovers needs to get into the game very, very quickly. And Dundalk came out and brilliant finishing for Martin Riley. Very difficult in that circumstance.
Let's have a look at it, Pat, because he had a lot of time to think about this, didn't he?
Yeah, they thought he was offside. A ball played through by Hoey. And this is very, very difficult. The angle's not great. He's waited for Tony O'Dowd, and he's really outfoxed him and placed it absolutely beautiful. And he's a tremendous talent, Martin. And there you go, 3-0, and it's really cup tie over.
Player, of course, you know very well. And then 4-0. It really was the icing on the cake and the final nail in the coffin from a Rovers point of view, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And then to get Greg Costello sent off as well. He was very, very fortunate not to go initially, and he seemed to have some sort of death wish there. It's a disappointing night, but that happens in football. I think here we're seeing the build-up to the fourth goal. And again, I thought Chris Lawless did ever so well. And you see he checks back here. And again, Gary Haylock gets the ball. Man of the match, Gary. Tremendous experience. Jinks past Palmer. Hard and low. Goalkeeper, no chance. 4-0. And then suddenly it's damage limitation. But I feel sorry for Shamrock Rovers, because sometimes that happens in in football. You get a night when absolutely everything goes wrong. And I lost a cup semi-final here as a player to Dundalk in '93. Martin Lawler scored the winning goal. And the semi-final is the worst place to lose. It's a heartbreaker. You don't get the joy of the final. People talk about the team that loses the final. But semi-finals, you want both teams to win. But tonight, you know, I said before the match I had a feeling about Dundalk. But if everyone's been honest, there's no one in this country that would have thought that it would be so clinical and devastating.
You don't see, semi-finals are usually really, really tight games. You don't see 4-0s.
I think Dundalk are an excellent team, and I think we've got to give them credit.
Sure.
You know, in things that I've written this season, I had given them a lot of credit. I think sometimes, you know, football being Dublin orientated, I'm with the Dublin club. I want us to win absolutely everything, but we need the provinces to be very, very strong. This town, Dundalk, has a tremendous tradition. I was talking to our president this morning. He was here at a cup tie in 1952, the famous cup tie when Dirk and the keeper pulled the ball back from the line. And Matty Clark was a legend up here in those days. And I'd just like to hope that the scenes we saw after the game, with the Dundalk fans invading the pitch, that these people will go to the cup final. They'll come to Oriel Park week after week after week, because it's their club, and this is a special thing, and I'm delighted for Martin Murray.
Absolutely, it'll be a big night for you next Friday night when you play them here in the Premier Division. I just wanted to make the point about Shamrock Rovers as well. And again, a lot of times during the programme we've made reference back to the UCD game against Shamrock Rovers last weekend. And Rovers, their frustrations kind of boiled over at the end with the Greg Costello thing, but it was a really disturbing night for them, I think.
Yeah, I think so. You know, there was an incident here. He's on a yellow card. You know, he has to go. And it is sad because it was 2.5 minutes into injury time. But, you know, sometimes players can care too much, can they? But, you know, the fans will clap that player coming off, but that means he'll probably miss the start of next season, and, sure, you know, it could damage his career.
We'll hold it there for a moment, Pat. We're now going to go down to the touchline and join Michael Lester, who's got Gary Haylock with him.
Yeah, Dara, well, congratulations to you, Gary. It was a fantastic performance by the team, and you set things in motion.
Certainly, yeah. They started off very quickly. We talked about that before the game. I think they needed a goal in the first 15 minutes, and when they didn't get it, we just gradually came into the game. David Hoy put in a great cross, and you just try and make a run in the box. It comes into you, get a good touch, and the ball's in the back of the net. I'm
sure Donald Brown will make some claims on the first goal, a little share in it anyway.
Well, I asked him at half-time if he was claiming it, because I knew it wasn't over the line. I've claimed a few that weren't mine, but that one definitely was.
2-0 at half-time. I'm sure the manager was saying to you, let's hold on to this, but then you really open up in the second half.
We did, yeah. The third goal, I think they were complaining that they had a man down and a couple of their players stopped. But to be honest, I was at a game at Talk earlier on the season where a similar thing happened for Shamrock Rovers, and they scored the goal against Shelburne. So that's just the way things happen. And once we got the third goal, I think it was just a case of us keeping possession, as long as we didn't do anything stupid, which we've got some senior professionals, especially right through the back of the team. And that I don't even think John Connolly had a difficult save to make.
Well, Gary, congratulations again on tonight. I'm sure you're looking forward to the final. We'll see you there. Thank you again.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, of course, he has the FAI Cup final to look forward to, and Dundalk, Pat Dolan will go into that game. They'll probably be underdogs again. Bowes and Derry, of course, meeting on Sunday, but Dundalk will love that.
Yeah, they won't care who they meet. It's all about being in the final. This is why I saw Jim Riley, the president, before the game. A reward for him and Des Downey and all the people that work really, really hard. And the backroom staff here as well. Frank O'Neill and Tommy McConville, Aaron Callahan. Tonight's Martin Murray's night. He's put a team together that I hope do stay in the Premier Division. I hope they don't get a good result last night. It's going to be an absolute belter of a game here next Friday night. But this club deserves to stay in the Premier Division. They're going to get a cup final. Who knows?
OK, well, Dundalk have made it through to the FAI Cup final. That's on April the 7th, of course.